One. Hi guys, welcome to day two of the 30 days of Fintech UI UX edition. Today we're going to be talking about something very important and crucial, one of those touch points that is super important when it comes to fintech products, and that is what? Fintech home screens. The reason this is important and we need to talk about it is because I see a lot of designers out there thinking that there is such thing called a perfect home screen for fintech or fintech home screens, right? A lot of designers make this mistake, but the truth of the matter is there isn't, right? There isn't, and the reason it does not exist is because I believe that a fintech home screen should be designed around what the business wants users to do most often, right? And I'm going to cite some examples, right? And would further from there. Number one example is going to be what? OP, right? And if you look at OP, one of the things you're going to see is that they prioritize things like transfer, airtime, bills payments, because it's built or it's designed around day-to-day transaction, right? It is they are capturing their business proposition. You see that? Now, another example I would give you is what Cowrywise. And by just looking at it, you can see how they emphasize on investments, my portfolio growth, right? Savings. Again, they are capturing their core business what value. And I can cite several other examples like this crypto app Kraken, for example. You can see your portfolio value, um, cryptos with the market price, right? And so on. Same with rent money. If you think of rent money, one of their primary service offering or business proposition is loans, right? So looking at this, I can see other complementary proposition, but most importantly, I see get a loan, all right? So if I want a day-to-day an application or a fintech product for a day-to-day transaction, I'm not coming to rent money, I'm not coming to Carolwise, I'm not coming to Kraken, I'm coming to OPay. And because that's what they want to sell, they design the home screen to be able to sell that business proposition. Fintech home screens is not just about, it's not just dashboard or having the right buttons and all of that, the right colors, the right icon. No, it's a reflection of the product business strategy, right? So looking at this right now, you know what I see when I look at OP? I see business strategy. When I look at Carrywise, you know what I see? I see business strategy. The reason there is no withdrawal or there's no withdrawal transfer in the home screen here is because their business strategy does not allow it. So you could see that they kind of like made that action secondary because they're all about bringing money into the app, saving your money, investing your money, not taking it out. All right. That's why even when you start to use the product a lot more, you would realize that even when you want to withdraw your money, they'll ask you, are you sure? Or do you want to keep on saving? And because it's really about getting money inside and investing and saving, right? And they double down on that. But I want to give you a framework. When you're designing a home screen, a couple of questions you want to ask yourself. One of those questions is, why do users open this app most often? When they open this app, what are the things that they interact with the most? What are the information they want to see the most, right? Number two is what is the business trying to encourage? Remember what I said earlier, how it is that a fintech home screen is a reflection of the product business strategy. So obviously they have something they are trying to encourage. They have something they are trying to sell, right? And you need to answer that question. Number three, what information is most time sensitive? If I open my app, I obviously want to just see my balance. Sometimes that's what I just want to see in the shortest time possible. When I open, I just want to see the most recent transaction. All right. Do you get me? And then number four, what action should take less than 5 seconds? Now, if you're able to answer all of these questions, right? If you're able to answer all of these questions, ladies and gentlemen, you end up designing a fintech home screen that is science and wonders, right? Obviously, that is close to perfection. All right. So, which leads us to practical. And now remember, everything I am saying is not me abandoning every other thing I've said. It still connects. Remember the day one, we spoke about clarity, spoke about how user must be in control, and spoke about ease of use. So while we are doing this, we also still get to reflect on that. We're going to work on three different ideas, home screens, or three different home screens with different business proposition. The first one that emphasizes on track budget, send money, receive money, and pay bills. The second one that emphasizes on savings, add money, investments around mutual funds, and then withdraw. And then the third one is going to be um, around taking loans, sending money, receiving money, and paying bills. We are going to start with savings and investment. And stay with me. Now, while we are talking about savings and investment, I'm going to be highlighting a couple of things from career-wise and we're going to try to reveal some of their intent and motive behind some of the decisions they make. Right? Now, take note, this does not entirely capture the motive and their intent and their business decision. We're just going to try our best to see how we can, you know, decomponize it and then talk about it more and then give reasoning to some of the decisions they've made. So with this one, if we are about to design something that reflects this, what, four things: savings, emphasizes on this fourth business proposition: savings, adding money, investment, and withdrawal. All right. So let's just start. So one of the first things I like to do before designing is I like to we're going to be designing in black and white, and probably over time, if we have enough time, we'll put color to it, just make it look really nice. But it's just going to be black and white for now. All right. So one first thing I like to do is to give my to give a grid to my artboard. All right. So it's going to be standard, right? Just standard, 16 left and right, gutter, 24 left and right. That's the margin. The gutter is going to be 16. All right. So feel free to make this to make this a style. So if you can see my screen clearly, the right hand side, you can go create a style and just call it anything that has to do with mobile and topic. So all right. So that way, in the other screens, I don't have to be doing it all the time. I just go and call it. Okay. Now, what we need to do first is work on some of the. Remember again, what we are offering is clarity, okay, ease of use, and what's the other one? Control. Okay. All right. So first, we want to confirm that okay, this account belongs to you. So give the account an identity. All right. So Timothy, put it somewhere maybe here. Okay. And then after we've done that, draw some like a just really quick ellipse. All right. I'll make it somewhere around 24 or 32. Thinking 32 is just fine. The text, I'll keep the text around base 16. All right. I'm gonna make this regular as opposed to semi-bold. The letter spacing, I'll just keep it 0. minus 0.3 pixels. So it's not, so when I say letter spacing, this stuff here, like you see, the character spacing, like so. I like my design to be very clean, even though that's not why we are here, really. I still like my design to be very, very clean. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, so after we've done this, what else do you need to do? Maybe notifications to the other side. Remember, oh my god, there's an asset pack I'd like to share with you guys. It's called Solar Icon Set. Okay, thank God I'm here already. Solar Icon Set. I think I've downloaded it before, or I've duplicated it before. There's a version 2. So this way we can go to our file, create a page, call it components, right, and just dump the icons there, so we can be calling icons from there directly. All right. Even though I don't want us to just completely I want us to make design a bit lively, right, regardless of the occasion. Okay. So we've opened the file, copied the icons, and then we came here and we pasted it in the components page. All right. So forgive me if I'm moving a little bit too fast. All right. So why I needed that icon pack was because I needed to get the bell of the notification icon. All right. And the reason I like this icon pack is because it comes in different style, like linear, like so, bold, like so. So it comes in what different style. All right. So I think we're going to just stick with the linear. All right. Make sure they're all resting on the water margin. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to draw a line here, put it so, draw a line here, put it so. Okay, zoom in so it's consistent. Put it so like this, right? Do you know why that is important? Because I don't want to have to turn on the grid each time I want to position my elements, right? I just want to make really quick and fast decision. All right. So second thing is, remember we spoke about how it is that ideally every home screen comes with different states, or at least different states, meaning there's a state that is trying to get you activated, or at least perform one of those their primary action or value proposition. There's a state that wants you to do that. Like if you sign up in CarryWise for the very first time, they'll tell you that maybe create a goal. They'll encourage you to go create a goal. All right. Create a goal, fund the goal. The moment you do that, the state of that application automatically changes to something else. The state of the home screen automatically changes to something else. Maybe now you're now seeing your portfolio growth and your streaks and all of that, like the way you have it right now. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll create something. I mean, around. Let's just do the goal for now. That's not the initial state now. The in use state, already. The in use state. Let's do that, and then okay, you want to put your cash here. I'm reach right now. You know, just on my account. I like it. And then I'm giving you guys tip. When you are designing, right, don't try not to use bold or extra bold. Stick around any bold or medium. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked by the level of clarity and simplicity your design would have. Right? It just makes sense. And I've explained this several times why it makes sense. If you use bold, there's something that happens to the aperture of the typography. It closes up. So that way it affects the aesthetics. I'm talking about optical, right? This way, medium at a glance, just because it's clear, right? The aperture it's not as closed or tightened as it were, right? So yeah, I would suggest this. So yeah, just put in the balance. Let's put a decent balance so it doesn't look too chaotic. Let's say maybe 5 million and some cents. All right. So yeah. Oh, let's go 400K. All right. So this needs, what is this? The question is, what is this? You're just putting numbers. What is this number? So then we can now say what maybe portfolio value. All right. Now hierarchy. There's so many ways you can control your hierarchy. One of the ways is position, another way is colors. So I already have like a shade of color that I generated from shade, I think color shade. Just go to your plugins, type color shade. You see it. I like this plugin a lot. Right, it gives you a really cool, mm, cool, cool variation of blends of your colors. Yep. So here I'll just be using my picker and picking colors from here. So you get me. Over time, I probably will stop because I now start to use the value from themselves. All right. So here, this value here is already 16. I don't want it to be that big. Probably can bring it to somewhere around 14. Okay. And this way, I can start to control the spacing of things here. Maybe make this two, like that, like that. Now, because of the way Cowboys did it, which I really like, they kind of like then had like added a trend. Okay. Now, this way, remember, they're trying to. It is within their business proposition to show you how well you are growing. How like now it's wealth. The idea of Cowboys, or when you think of Cowboys, is that they help you build wealth. All right. When you open the app, what they want you to perceive is how well or how far are you going with building your wealth. So this way, you open the app and you see something like this. You see that? All right, that's where we are going to. So that's now probably just put a chart somewhere. Okay, we use our pen to just start it this way. It's going well. Let it be off. Let it be tough. Consistency along the way. Then we went up a little further. Consistency, and then there was a withdrawal, and then there was a heavy withdrawal. All right, and a little bit of consistency. Okay, now so it could be this. All right, see that it could be this, and there are ways to make this really beautiful. All right, how you could do that is you could copy and duplicate this. All right, just duplicate it. Still go back to your pen tool, turn it on, connect those points. See, connect it. You know what we've done? We've done this. Now with this, now you can easily do a gradient, right? I don't know. Maybe I should show you guys should turn it this way so you guys can see better. Does it work? All right. Now you cannot easily do a gradient. All right. And what you do here is you kind of like turn this down at the top. You see that? You could just reduce your opacity alongside to. All right. See that? See that? All right. So here we can leave it totally black. It doesn't matter. All right. Provided you know how to control your opacity, which works. All right. So yeah, that. Now this your stroke is obviously too sharp. All right. That's the other stroke. This stroke here is obviously too sharp. We could pin somewhere in our color, make it more subtle. All right. So we end up with something like this. Now something else they did that was super interesting is that you do not see any buttons here saying send or withdraw. Right. And as I explained earlier, you do not have those buttons because it is not within their what? It is not in their priority, or it is not captured in their core value or in their business strategy to make withdrawal such a primary feature, because they're all about you bringing money into the application, not taking out money. Hence why you are not seeing any withdrawal in the home screen. So this way, if you are giving a project, what you do is you look at the project holistically. If you are giving a brief for a project, look at the brief holistically. Ask a lot of questions. Try to ascertain. See this question we asked earlier. Try to ascertain. The try to figure out a strategy, right, that you could use to really drive the core business proposition, right? Find a strategy that does that, right? And the moment you're able to get that, it's golden. You don't even need to defend your design. Your design will just make sense. And at times you have to still, but yeah. Now the next thing you want to do is to work on another state. So here, I like what they did here. So somewhere they'll probably tell you to create a goal. You see that? Let's do something really cute. Create a goal, all right? Something really simple. Kitty, create a goal. Or create a goal, or maybe some sort of football, or something, right? Create a goal, or put a arrow there that helps drive the notion that it's clickable. See that? All right, see that? All right, now you see we want to something. Now after this, I'm going to let me select this. Let me be a lighter color. I think. Okay, I think this is good. All right, create a goal. What should we use as a subtext? Okay, create another goal today. All right, now I'm like that. See that? See where I want to something, right? Now, after this, I think they did something really amazing here. Was the hard cache, all right? That was the hard cache, all right? The hard cache was super amazing. Not gonna lie, because now that way you have a quick action to be able to fund, to fund either your stash or maybe select a particular goal that you created or savings you created, all right, that you want to fund. It's like a quick action. Think of it as a quick action. So they did the fund what? I think hard cache, and then they added an action that supports that. And this is very important. Remember we said something about ease of use, all right? And beyond just ease of use, making a journey enjoyable. This is important though, because if you don't see this now, I don't think you see it any other time. This is important. They did this thing where they were able to put in a specific amount, just in summary, say 16. Let's make it 16. This here, okay. Maybe we should make this 16. because I want it to be a bit clear. I mean, might even say maybe make it medium, right? But I don't want to push it, right? So you see, imagine creating, say, for example, now this one will be 1,000, right? This one probably could be what, 10,000 or 5,000. Or should we go maybe 4,000? All right. Now, if you notice it, right, this now is we creating um um a quick action to be able to fund a specific goal. You see that? Clean. You don't have to stress it too much. This other one probably make it what 10,000, right? And then they did as much that they wrapped it around and then they just kept on adding and adding and adding. And you could do the same too, right? So I mean, there's enough space because it's going to be progressive in, even if I thought we had something else at the top, it's going to be progressive in disclosure, right? And the good part is you can even use, depending on kind of learning they do about your user, the amount here can be tailored to what they know to be your capacity after studying how much you've been funding your account, right? So yeah, see that? So one of the things I need to change here is the colors. So we need to make it a little bit more prominent, maybe the base, and the base is somewhere around 6, all right? But I'll probably take it 5. It's not that much, all right? And I'm still thinking that, right, we are putting this in 14, 14 and maybe a medium makes it look a lot more better, all right? That's what I'm thinking. And it kind of like does, all right? Now, you see what we have here? Now, in this place now, we have literally a card that says your portfolio value with trends. Now, this trend obviously can have more information, right? Things like you wanting to see how much you made this week, right? Again, if you develop this eye, right, or this way of thinking about products, right, it's going to do you a whole lot of service. Because when you now see applications, you're not going to be seeing just nice colors and nice buttons. You're going to be seeing business strategy. Business strategy. That's what I see. All right. So you see this, they did this plus whatever amount this XYZ week. You see that? Returns. Okay, well, we could say XYZ amount made this week. See that? This week. We do this instead. All right. This year, we choose to give it a maybe different color. It could be green. So this way, we'll just make it dark somewhere around here. So we'll know that when we're coloring, it can be another color. Okay. Now you see, we're onto something. You know another thing we can introduce outside of this art hash. All right. So we could say maybe add a button that says maybe fund the goal. Fund goal. Withdrawal is not our priority, so we don't need a complementary action here. Fund the goal is good. And when you click fund the goal, it probably will just take you to ask you maybe to select one of your wallets. See that? Ask you to it will ask you to select one of the goals you created that you wish to fund. All right. That's what it probably do. Then we'll get an icon that says plus. Put it there. We want the icon to be linear style. All right. And then we want it to be, see that? I want it to be 20 instead of 24. Right? Now, prefer to the front as opposed to the back. Makes more sense, right? I think so. Okay, let's try it back again. Okay. And it doesn't have to be plus. No, it doesn't have to be plus. Right? So you see we're onto something. Right? You see we're onto something. Now here we can now say maybe they did something where they did portfolio. All right? Do you know why they did that? And then they added this icon that can send you forward. Do you know why they did this? Brilliant idea. They did this because there's a further extrapolation to what, or there are more information to what makes your portfolio. All right. So as part of the primary action, again, remember they're so focused about building wealth. That is their value proposition, building wealth. And the home screen has to reflect that. So if you now click on this here, it takes you to a portfolio screen where you get to see maybe how much you made a month, how much you made that week, how much you made that day, something like that. So yeah, that's what it would be, right? So select the color, something not too. I want it to be most prominent as the previous one. So yeah, so we have this. All right. So from here to, can I play this quickly? All right, let's see. So we have this, right? Now, if this were to be, okay, there are more things we can add, right? Because over time, you now realize that there's something called progressive disclosure. The way the home screen is designed, it doesn't mean that you have to, every single thing has to fit. That's not what this is. Everything doesn't have to fit. All right? Everything doesn't have to fit. You can show things gradually. People can scroll. It could be a journey. Life is a journey. That's how life works. It's a journey. Okay? So it should be a what? Journey. But your focus is at a glance. What are you selling to them? At a glance, what do you want to encourage them to do? At a glance, what are your core values that are being emphasized? At a glance. All right? At a glance. So guys, that's that. I'm using Figma to design, by the way, in case you're asking. All right, cool. So now, after we're done with this, we can replicate the same thing here and then try to do like an activation where, again, it's not going to be fun goal because there's no goal. It's probably going to be create goal now. All right, it's going to be create goal. All right, you'll probably not be seeing your portfolio value because you have no portfolio value, right? And except maybe they want to show you this in a way to encourage you to get started. So it's just going to be a line, right? And then maybe your balance is going to be like 0, 0, okay? And then maybe create a goal, all right? See that? Or if at all, create a goal. See that? And yeah, so many other things. Okay, now here, what could now be here is maybe these guys, they don't just do Naira, right? So they do dollar and they do what? They do Naira, they do dollars, right? So you could have something here, maybe in 2 different columns. I kind of like speak of both, all right? Something here. You see that? So this is not just me putting elements randomly, because if what you want to put here does not in any way backs the business value, the value offerings, right, or the business proposition, if it does not in any way support it, then what is the point of putting it? Take it away, right? Take it away. So before you know now, we keep designing. Before you know, we've designed an amazing and breathtaking product just by understanding that there are a couple of offerings, right? When you are designing a fintech home screen, you are also focused on the product business strategy. You extrapolate that from the business proposition, right? Find the strategy that works and design. That's what you are doing, right? That is what you are doing. Now, we're going to work on the next one, all right? We're going to work on the next one so we don't have to waste or sleep too much on this, all right? So the next one is going to be the loan product. Now, a loan product, at the top of my head, I've not really seen any product in the fintech market. Now, you see, we are thinking, I've not seen any product in the fintech market that all they do is just give loan. I've not come across any. It is either they still do send and receive money, paying bills, but they give loan. That's their core business value. That's their core value. That's what they want to be known for. But the other proposition is to complement their core proposition, right? So I did give an example with what's their name? I gave an example with rent money. That if you think rent money, what do you think of loan? Except maybe there's a different part of demographic they've been targeting differently that I don't know. For me, that they targeted is loan. Rent money is loan. That's what I think of when I think of rent money, right? So what we're going to be doing is we'll design a product around this what proposition. What's the take loan, send money, receive money, and pay bills. You see that? So let's do something really quick. So for this one, because of the, I'm just going to be importing elements. So I'll probably import this one, the headline modification. And the second one I want to import is this here. Here is going to be bullshit. I think I imported it wrongly. All right, cool. All right. So here I'm going to paste this one too. Here, okay. This will probably be. Remember, guys, your grid. Test it. So we don't throw stuff around carelessly. I like to put my grid to make sure that I know it's lapping. I don't know why it's not lapping. Okay, 24. The other one, so gotta be 24. So I'm putting the line. The reason I'm putting the line right is because I want to take off the grid, the column grid. What did I just do? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I'll do that again. All right, boom, perfect. All right, now. So now I can confidently just snap it like this. You see that? Okay. So now this is going to be what account balance or balance, all right, or total balance. Now bear in mind that your account can read negative. Because remember it is loans, right? Okay, so yeah, so we're going to probably take this card to and maybe throw it somewhere. And okay, now this particular one, right, total balance, which is good. Now this one here, we'll probably put like a couple of buttons that says send money. All right, there's going to be another button that says add or receive money. All right, so you gotta receive money, because how then will you pay your loan? You gotta receive money. How then do you pay your loan? So the way I like to work on my buttons here to keep them really neat is that because there's enough space for me left and right, does not mean that I should just extend my button carelessly. All right, and that's not something I like to do. All right, probably should also give it a thought. Now here we're going to select color. Remember, we're getting our shades on here. All right, this is just regular shade. We could have just drag our way around the. So do this. And probably just put it around this, right, and then make this somewhere around white. All right, send receive money like so. Okay, you see that? Now send receive money. One action is primary, the other one is secondary. Is it not? Are both of them primary? No, they're not. All right, I want to spend money. Right. You spend money. All right. So another action is what? Take loan. Take loan. This is important. All right. Take loan. That's take loan. Especially when you're not taking loan for the first time. Loan in 5 minutes. All right. See, that's I don't have to do fine. I could just center it. Just center it like so. See that? Just center it. Are you guys with me? All right. Stay with me, yo. Okay. Now, I feel like the light is becoming too intense. Yeah, just speak fast. Okay, now that's too much. That's too much. All right. Now, take you in 5 minutes. I'm beginning to feel like I've left it left, because then I might take me to the center. Anyways, then we'll now put other actions like quick access, actions. All right. What are the quick actions? Airtime, bills, data. All right. Airtime. What does airtime look like? Maybe phone call. Which is it? Which is it? Which is it? This one. Let's do iPhone. Then the airtime actually is call, right? So call like so. So destination I would have done as well. But this one data will give the network sign, signal, network sign. So this one, right? Maybe for data, and then maybe television, TV, right, and so on and so forth. So with this particular one now, we can now start to put in airtime. You see that? You can, and I need not to have even done any of that. That's well just So same thing I did there would be that I will work on this particular one, right? Maybe 24 left and right. All right. What's going on? They're about to end my live stream because I'm not engaging. All right. They're not doing it anytime soon, so I just fix that. 24 up to. So here I'm going to throw in like a really quick. All right. So maybe make it like 16. All right, or maybe 20. Okay. See that? I'm gonna give it a bit of spacing there. Here also, I'm thinking of maybe making this bold instead of broken or linear, thinking of making this bold like so. I ruined it. I ruined it. Okay, so we have airtime. We can now create other things like this. I believe on the clip, I probably will just speed this up, speed all of this back up, like very fast. All the things I wanted to say, I already said in the beginning. So yeah, you guys are here. Okay, good for you guys. So 14. Yeah. So what we could do now is looking at this, we can make it a bit more bold. Go to color selection, find the shade, maybe use the base. Base is not a bad idea. You see how we look now? Right here, you could choose to maintain this, or you could choose to go a notch higher. You see that? A notch higher. It could be 18 even. All right. Maybe then throw in your semi bold. Remember we said that we're not going to be doing throwing your semi bold and then make it taken like this. See that? Now, if you notice what we've done so far is that regardless of the so much spacing we have to the right, we are still very just consistent with, we're not stretching it. I don't believe you have to stretch things. Like, I don't know why you're stretching things, though. I really don't know why we're stretching things. But here, so that, okay? So we could do duplicate it, maybe extend it out a little bit, just extend it out a little bit, put something else there, all right? So we have now here we have data, all right? Now, which brings us to a very serious problem, all right? Here we have data, here we have TV, right? You need to find a particular size, fixed size now, that works for at least a minimum, what do you call it? A minimum width, or a maximum and minimum width. So yeah, so we have something like this. Now, if you look at this now, at a glance, right? At a glance, you can see this here. Take loan, send money, receive money, and pay bills, because the business strategy is so, because the value proposition is wrapped around this. So if you look at the home screen, you could just tell what the business is about. You could just tell. And then it doesn't end there, because now you now take loans, right? It doesn't end there because now you now take loans. There needs to be a way we can track your loan. Yes, there needs to be a way we can track your loan. So I'll give you an example. Example would be, if you take a loan, then maybe somewhere here you probably see maybe you took a 50,000 loan. So if they're wise, they shouldn't be debiting next repayment, right? Or repay in, and you put in the date here, 5th July 2025. See that? All right. Here could be maybe here a business that says loan schedule, an action that says loan schedule. So you know that if you click this button, I did not even have to take this out. That's the arrow button, right? We'll just bring it down to somewhere around 16, or maybe even lesser. All right. So let's switch to the color first. Goes down to broken, put it linear. The size goes down to maybe 1 point or 1.3. Right. So now we're left with this. So I'm going to join this together. So all right. See that? Because of the spacing here, I'll make the left hand side 16, like so, and then the right hand side 12. You get me? So this way you have an action, and this action, who says it even has to be in there? It could just be somewhere here, and this could spell out literally say see loan shadow, right? Or it could be to the right, because there's going to be something here. So you see, we're just thinking about it like on the spot. All right, we could choose to center this. All right, put this here and put C loan shadow to the bottom. You see that? Now you know that the money you're paying next is probably this amount, and then you're repaying this XYZ date, and then there's so many other money you need to pay. Change loan schedule, and then in the loan schedule we can probably highlight the next or the amount of repayments you need to do. Now you see that? You see how we are thinking about this. Now after that, you don't even have to do too much. Now we're not encouraging you to take more loans because you've not repaid your previous loan. Hence why this action no longer exists. Hence why I said that there is the initial state. You see, there is the initial state, and then there is the after state when a proposition has been engaged and when a proposition has not been engaged. You see that? There are different states. This is important. It's important you know this. So you don't just think of the first state and then just leave it at that and just ruin the business and spoil everything. And then they're not making any sales and you're wondering why, and they cannot recover their loans and you're wondering why. Because yes, you don't want to put the loan in their face, but depending on your proposition, you design in accord to that. All right. So 16, like so. Are we together? I'm going to make it 24. It needs to be further. See that? And there's still other things that can happen here. There's still so many other things that can happen here. Things like maybe like a tip or something, right? Or transaction, right? This transaction is pretty straightforward. Here, you are sending money, okay? And you're sending the money, you want to know who is sending the money and where is the money coming from, okay? And you want to also know the date of the transaction, all right? Maybe even reference, well, I'll keep that to the inside. Right, so this 18 is going to be coming down to 16, right? The neighborhood is going to be going down to either medium or regular. See that, right? But I'm going to just keep it in medium for now, right? And I'm going to do 16. I'll take it to 14 for now. All right. Are we together? Are we together, guys? Are we together, guys? Now, this date, I'll put it like say maybe it came in just today. All right. Are we together? All right. Cool, 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 cool. I'm going to duplicate this. Guys, if we're together, well, over 12 people here, and then none of you are double tapping your screen, which is a bit sad. So for the ellipse, we're going to do something here where we'll just put for that's the date and the time. Right? Because again, these are these are things that people want to see at a glance. Remember, I said something, right, where we made mention of what information is most time sensitive, right? So if you can see the user time, right, from entering the transaction just to see the time the transaction was made, see them the time and show it there. All right, you need to think like that because it would matter. It matters if you do your research. You see that certain things matter. You ought not to hide them the way you did. All right, so because you're trying to save them time, right? A lot of information that are time sensitive, you need to be conscious of when designing. All right, so here we'll put in the amounts. Let's say 50,000. Here we'll say maybe from Adam, let's say from Google. All right, and then the from doesn't have to be as prominent, but the Google has to be. Now it could be maybe a bit of CR whatever like kind of ID transaction ID here. All right, so which is cool, which is okay. All right, so yeah, here we'll just put time 2 p.m. Only outgoing transaction has started. Incoming that already dropped. And maybe incoming too. I've seen some transaction that comes in, but you don't have access to it. So, I mean, so this is where technical constraint comes in, where you think about how you want to process that. That should the transaction be reflecting that's not entered, that's not truly entered. Okay, so you guys might now want to discuss about that. So there's a technical aspect of things. I think sometime in the one of the days I'll speak heavily on that, how important your technical team is when making a decision, a fintech decision. Okay, how important you working with them is. All right. So whatever status would be here. All right. So okay, so pretty much I'll just copy this. We need something here. Okay, we can actually use that. I was thinking we could use that, but we can't. So we're just going to draw like a shape, make it this, give it a color, turn it to the left, auto layout it, do that, 12, increase the size here from 34 to 40, and then make it like 999, perfectly rounded, and then we have the popular Google symbol here, and then we're good. Now, what's the Google symbol? G? Is it not G? Is it capital G? Well, this is just sample, of course. So, but yeah, now we have this. Now you can have multiple of them. Now you can have more, right? And so on and so forth. So this now probably make the spacing somewhere around 16. This year, somewhere maybe around 16 also, 64, like that. And then we are done. Now you could see that. What does this reflect? Looking at it, what does it reflect? Loans, loans. But now there's there's this state, all right? I don't think I need to be the judge of that. I think you guys will be the judge of that. Right? So if you look at this, except which is their business strategy, except you are right. If you're not careful when you look at this, all right, if you're not careful when you look at this, you almost not know that their business strategy is about taking loans until you take it, because they just throw. You see how I just unapologetically put take loans here on this banner, because it's the business proposition. That's what the fintech business is about. That is what it is about. So why try to put it somewhere else? You see that? Take loan. Full stop. You take loan, we'll tell you when next you need to repay the loan you took. And you probably click on see schedule, because now we're telling you that okay, you have like 3 other repayments you need to do. You see, we're telling you so much without telling you so much, right? Because people just want to know that that's okay. I know that I have 3 left. Okay, great. And then it's equally even, it's equally splitted. And then obviously that's it. And then you just save them a whole lot of time instead of them trying to run around to find what did not lost. Right? So maybe make it white. And this will be that tick, Maybe this here could be instead of 14, it could be 16, Then this could be centered. I'll probably maybe make it click it like this. See that? You see that? So now we have this. Okay. It's taking so far. Okay, so let's do 4. Okay, and then center this with it. All right. So you see, we have this. Now we have this. Now that. Okay. Now we can now work on the bottom navigation, which I'm not so much interested in. Maybe that would be a specific day. So we've done this. So we've done this first for investment. We've done this second for this first for savings and investment. This second for loans, sending, receiving money, and paying bills. You can actually say bills payment there. There's nothing wrong. But the truth is, it will not necessarily be all about bills payments because of how these guys did it. Right? I see a bit of logic or a bit of reasoning in how they made this decision here for the rent money. So it's not necessarily about bills. It could be like, and there are other services they offer that you probably want to like highlight somewhere else, somewhere around here, as opposed to just paying bills. But because of how we narrowed our proposition, it was about bills. All right. So that all right. So we'll work on the last one and we'll just call it a day. Okay, this is interesting. I like how this is going. So the last one is going to be Your regular send receive money pay bills and track your budget, which is similar to the first. Sorry, which is similar, a bit similar to the second one. It's a bit similar. It's like OP. Their business is getting you to spend your money. It's cash flow. That's their business. They're in the business of cash flow. Right? That's why I know OP for. They're in the business of what? Cash flow. Money enter, money go out. Money enter, money go out. I don't see people saving 50 million, 100 million. At least not yet. I think they're pushing that narrative with their savings feature. Their is it called OP wealth or O wealth, right? But dominantly, what they do is day-to-day transaction, right? And they're not sudden, they've not been any sudden shift. Even though they've introduced Go Wealth, it's still yet a secondary proposition. It is not coming to, take precedence over what they're already known for. Smart guys. Okay. Now I'm going to say this bill payment, we're gonna have it. All right. This we're gonna have it, right? Second one, they're gonna have it, and then maybe instead of this receive money, I feel like we could put their account number somewhere. I just wrote it down. All right. So yeah. So another thing again that's going to be common here is what transactions. All right, transactions. But most importantly, what we are selling in this particular feature is what the budgeting. All right, you create a budget, you stick to it, you go broke. Man, that's what we're selling here. The budgeting. All right. So you can create a budget, set the budget. Control your spending. So this is literally their value proposition. Helping you control your spending. That's all. All right. So maybe somewhere along the line, they can also introduce this percentage thingy where the more money you leave, you still make money out of it. I think a lot of banks do it. I think the bank I work with, they do it, right? In your normal balance. I think OP also does it, right? In your normal balance, they kind of like give you interest. Okay. So that could also be like an additional thing for this particular business. But there's some people who do not like it or who do not do it, or it is haram for you to be making money without any, like, your money to be making money for you. Muslims don't exactly believe in that. So yeah, which is really interesting, to be honest. Which is why I think I'll tell my guy that I need to go bank with um with Jais, because what do you mean they don't collect interest for taking loan? Okay. Um Linear, like so, all right. Put it like this, set your budget, all right. The reason I took away that sheet is because we're about to introduce something else a bit more interesting. So I'll send this to the right, and now here I'll send this a bit here because I want this to come here, and I want this to come here, right? And also thank you guys for the support, really, so far. You guys have been here from the beginning to now. Thank you so much for the support. Really does mean a lot to me. So here, and there are several ways we could do this budget, all right? So budget means we need an icon that says budget. Okay? Money, cash, card, stock, banknote. What really can say budget? Calculator, then plus the minus, then the calculating before spending. You see that? Does it work? Does it? Does it really? Does this one work better? I think this works better. All right. So probably just set it like so, right? So maybe when you now click on the, I really want to make this a card, because if it is a card, then if they click the entire card, then it's clickable, right? So what I would do is I'll just do something really quick. Yeah. A bit of this and a bit of that. See that? All right. So if you click on the entire card, it just happens like so for you. All right. So yeah. Another thing again we needed to import was the notification thingy. All right. And yes, send, receive, set budget. All right. Obviously, when you're exceeding your budget, it's going to tell you you're exceeding your budget. So in this case, we're going to have different states. This is the initial state. There's a state where you already set your budget. It's going to adjust itself. We're like, okay, great. Now we know that your budget is 50K. All right. Now we know your budget is 50K. Now we know that you have spent 20K inside your 50K. See, you're like almost almost okay. We know your budget is 50K. All right. I have spent 20K. All right. The budget. And we know you have 15 days left. All right. And we know that maybe you can do a bit of looking at the things you spent on. All right. Or maybe not even having anything at all there. Or maybe having something, but it's just going to be there, because obviously when you click on this card, it probably would extrapolate it for you and then show you how you spent your budget so far. All right. You see that? Or the truth is, you could also have multiple budgets. This could be, maybe you could create budget for food. Yeah. Now thinking about it now, that makes sense. You could create budget for food. You could have different budgets, so you could duplicate it and you no. Yeah. Okay. Then make it fixed. Okay. Then to the right. Okay. Then reduce it a bit. So you could make it fixed, and then you could just check out the budget. So we could have an action somewhere that says my budget, right? And then yeah, of course it's still gonna be clickable. Then we'll have like maybe a see you all kind of button. And I know I did something similar, but I'll be getting the gist. A see you all kind of button, all right? A see you all kind of button, and here, see all. See that? Maybe. You see that? You see all kind of button, and then you just click, and then you see all your budget. You see how we are moving? We're moving really interesting. So this is your budget for food. The icon that will be food icon, because you set it. I know this card can be presented better, but we know that one of the major value proposition of this application is that you can manage your what budget. Are we selling that? Yes, we are. Right? Yes, we are. We are selling that. Yes, we are what selling that. You understand? So, which brings me to, and now you guys cannot request for the mic because I'm actually not recording. Which brings me to the initial or the goal of day two. All right. Which brings me to the goal of day two. When you are faced with designing a fintech home screen, all right, look for the product business strategy and implement that. Look for it within the business value propositions. Find a strategy and implement that. So when people are looking at the home screen, what they are seeing is not pretty buttons and not beautiful elements and beautiful icons. What they are seeing is a business strategy. Now, when I say what they're seeing, I don't mean they have to like see that rating literally. I'm saying that's what it would be, a business strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the end of day two. All right, and I'm gonna like finish this design, make it really clean. That's one of the things I'm gonna be doing, right? Make it really clean, add a bit of color here and there, all right, and what post it free of charge. Free of charge. I'm gonna post it like on X or here on TikTok, and then you guys, there's gonna be, I think I already created like a WhatsApp channel, all right, but I'm thinking of a Discord community maybe. Just post it there so you guys can interact with it. I'm gonna be making a whole lot of this thing open source. A friend of mine or a senior of mine kind of like advice that would be that we do more with this as opposed to just making it what it is already. All right, so thank you very much, guys.